I'll start with the cue, right?
We are live.
Okay, thank you, Max. That's so exciting. Every time you give me that, we are live. I feel like I'm a CBS reporter from the 1930s, trying to get into New York from some European outpost. Anyway, I'm Jim Niesen, if in case you don't know, and welcome to the fourth and final installment of our virtual 1599, which we first did in 2016. And we always say we're doing a play because it has extraordinary meaning to this moment. And that's like one of our givens. And we have two moments here. In fact, maybe we have a ton of moments because things have certainly changed since 2016. But a cool thing is we have all of the original cast who again are performing this. And so sitting right next to me is a longtime Irondale actor and ensemble member, Joey Collins, who first, you actually, you played uh, Hamlet both times. Did we do it between this for anything? We only did the big marathon in this one, right?
We did it in 16 and I think
Oh, that's right. We
January
brought it back, didn't we?
2018. Yeah, we
Yeah,
brought it
yeah.
back.
So this is the third go.
So this is our third go, which
Yeah.
I thought I had, I thought the rest was silence the last time
No.
that we did
So
it.
tell me about it. What's your feelings about Hamlet in 2020?
Well, when we did it in 2016, it was, if I'm not mistaken, prior to the big election, the big last national election. And I remember us talking a lot about
Oh
just
yeah,
sort of just what was going on rhetorically, in the world. And it boggles my mind that we are only 4 years, from that
yeah,
moment when we last did it, and how much has changed. And this play, really stands the test of time because it resonates in a completely different way, I think, for an
yeah,
audience as well as for a
yeah,
performer. Um, I think this play seems to me, anyway, now about justice, where I think before what really resonated to me was corruption. And,
yeah,
and while justice was a big part of it, I think that when we all as a group, as an ensemble, talked about Hamlet, and we talked about Claudius and his act
hmm
of that people, if you don't know Hamlet, it will be revealed to
Oh,
you what
you
happened.
will in an hour. Yeah. Uh,
But we talked a lot about that, because also
yeah.
there's the corruption and the conspiracies and all that stuff that are going on in Julius Caesar, and how all these four plays are linked. And now when I look at Hamlet, I can't let go of this word justice, and so that's
Yeah.
what's resonating with me right now.
If we were going to do that crazy director game where the mad director says, tonight you only are going to do the entire performance with one line. What is the one indispensable line today that jumps out at you?
Wow, thanks for sort of throwing me in front of the bus here.
I didn't think of that until 10 seconds ago. So
Yeah, gosh, I well, I think from this time forth, my thoughts be bloody or be nothing worth.
yeah,
That's what's immediately coming to me, is that you've got to be willing to,
yeah,
or Hamlet. What really resonates for me with him is he's really got to take everything that he's got and put it on the line and say, I'm
yeah,
willing to give it
yeah,
all up. And
yeah. I
and
mean,
so, yeah.
yeah, I don't think obviously there's any right answer to this. It's just
Sure,
it's like when I write my pieces once a week and I go, okay, what's really on my mind right now? The
sure.
one
Yeah, yeah.
2 days ago, I was right on board with you, but since then, I've really gone to be or not to be, and it feels like that is the decision that the whole world is about today. Are we going to be, or are we
Well,
not going to be?
yeah, well, and then there's this. I don't want to get academic about it, because I think you know how strongly I feel about that specific speech and how I don't think it's about suicide. But
Yeah,
I think it's about a lack of action, and I wouldn't be I wouldn't be too far off of that. I think I'm just one step beyond it now.
Mhm.
It's it's beyond to do or not to do. It's beyond to act or not to act.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
beyond the consequence. It's like a person who truly comes to they are willing to
great.
die for that cause, and that's where this play goes. I think
Okay,
so.
well, you just said where the play goes, and
Yeah.
let's go right now. So, everybody, happy last
All right.
part of 1599, and
I'm gonna
oh, and
sign off.
afterwards we'll be staying on board, keeping our feed going once the show is over. So just come back and join us again. If you'd want to hang out and just see what we have to say. It's pretty informal, but we take questions and love to hear what you think about this, about the world, and everything that's going on. So, guys, take it away.
1599, Part 4, Hamlet.
Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew. Or that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter. Oh, God! God! How weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. 'Tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely. That it should come to this, but 2 months dead. Nay, not so much, not two. So excellent a king was to this? Hyperion to a satyr so loving to my mother, that he might not beteem the winds of heaven visit her face too roughly. Heaven and earth, must I remember? Frailty, thy name is woman. A little month, or ere those shoes were old with which she followed my poor father's body. Oh, God! A beast that once discourse of reason would have mourned longer, married with my uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules. Within a month! And yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left the flushing in her galled eyes. She married, oh, most wicked speed, to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets? It is not, nor it cannot come to good.
And now my cousin Hamlet and my son.
A little more than kin and less than kind.
Gertrude, I'm trying. I'm really trying. And now, Laertes, what's the news with you? You told us of some suit. What is it, Laertes? You cannot speak of reason to the Dane.
Dread my lord, your leave and favor to return to France, from whence, though willingly I came to Denmark to show my duty in your coronation, yet now I must confess that duty done, my thoughts and wishes bend again towards France, and bow them to your gracious leave and pardon.
Have you your mother's leave? What says Polonia?
Ye hath, my lord, wrung from me my slow leave by laboursome petition, and at last, upon his will, I sealed my hard consent. I do beseech you, give him leave to go.
Take thy fair hour, Laertes. Time be thine, and thy best graces spend it at thy will. Hamlet. How is it that the clouds still hang on you?
Good Hamlet, cast thy nighted color off, and let thine eye look like a friend on Denmark. Do not forever with thy veiled lids seek for thy noble father in the dust. Thou know'st 'tis common. All that lives must die.
Ah,
Aye, madam, it is common.
'tis sweet and commendable in your nature, Hamlet, to give these mourning duties to your father. But you must know your father lost a father, that father lost his. But to persever in obstinate condolement is a course of impious stubbornness. Therefore, throw to earth this unprevailing woe, and think of us as of a father. For your intent in going back to school in
Wittenberg.
Wittenberg, it is most retrograde to our desire.
Let not thy mother lose her prayers, Hamlet. I pray thee, stay with us, go not to Wittenberg.
I shall, in all my best, obey you, madam.
Hail to your lordship.
Horatio, or I do forget myself. But what make you from Wittenberg, Horatio? Will teach you to drink deep ere you depart.
My lord, I came to see your father's funeral.
I pray thee, do not mock me, fellow student. I think it was to see my mother's wedding.
Indeed, my lord. It followed hard upon.
Thrift, Horatio. The funeral baked meats did coldly furnish forth the marriage tables. Oh, Horatio, my father. Methinks I see my father.
Where, my lord?
In my mind's eye, Horatio.
My lord, I think I saw him yesternight.
Saw? Who?
My lord, the king, your father. I knew your father. These hands were no more like.
But where was this?
Upon the flat platform where we watch.
Did you speak to it?
My lord, I did, but answer made it none.
'Tis very strange. I will watch tonight. Perchance 'twill walk again.
I warrant it will.
If it assume my noble father's person, I'll speak to it, though hell itself should gape and bid me hold my peace.
Look, my lord, it comes.
Angels and ministers of grace, defend us. I'll call thee Hamlet, King, Father, Royal Dane. Oh, answer me.
My hour is almost come, when I to sulphurous and tormenting flames must render up myself.
Alas, poor ghost.
Pity me not, but lend thy serious hearing to what I shall unfold.
Speak, I am bound to hear.
So art thou to revenge when thou shalt hear?
What?
'Tis given out that sleeping in my orchard a serpent stung me. But know, thou noble youth, the serpent that did sting thy father's life now wears his crown.
Oh, my prophetic soul, my uncle!
I, that incestuous, that adulterate beast. Brief let me be. Sleeping within my orchard, my custom always of the afternoon, thy uncle stole with juice of cursed Hebanon in a vial, and in the porches of my ears did pour the leprous distilment. Thus was I, sleeping by a brother's hand, sent to my account with all my imperfections on my head. Let not the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned incest. But howsoever you pursuest this act, do not corrupt your mind or do any harm against thy mother. Leave her to heaven. Fare thee well at once. Adieu. 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 Remember me.
Remember thee? Yea. From the table of my memory I'll wipe away all trivial fond records, and thy commandment all alone shall live. So, uncle, there you are. Now, to my word, it is adieu, adieu. Remember me. I have sworn it.
What news, my lord?
It is an honest ghost. That, let me tell you. Give me one poor request.
What's it, my lord?
Never make known what you have seen tonight.
My lord, I will not.
Nay, but swear it.
Swear.
There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. But, come. So help you mercy. How strange or odd some'er I bear myself, as I perchance hereafter shall think meet to put an antic disposition on, to note that you know aught of me. This do swear.
Swear!
So grace and mercy.
So grace and mercy.
At your most need.
At my most need.
Help you.
Help me.
Swear!
Swear.
Swear.
Amen. The time is out of joint. Oh, cursed spite that ever I was born to set it right.
How now, Ophelia?
Oh, Mother. Mother, I've been so affrighted.
With what, in the name of God?
My lady, as I was sewing in my closet, Lord Hamlet, with his doublet all embraced, pale as his shirt, his knees knocking each other, and with a look so piteous in purport as if he had been loosed out of hell to speak of horrors.
What said he?
He took me by the wrist and held me hard. He falls to such perusal of my face as he would draw it. Long stayed he so. At last he raised a sigh so piteous and profound as it did seem to shatter all his bulk and end his being.
Come, we will go to seek the king. This is the very ecstasy of love. Have you given him any hard words of late?
No, my good mother, but as you did command, I did repel his letters and denied his access to me.
That hath made him mad. Come, go we to the king. This must be known.
Ah, Polonia, thou art the mother of good news.
Am I, my lord? I assure my good liege, I hold my duty as I hold my soul, both to my God and my gracious king. And I do think I have found the very cause of Hamlet's lunacy.
Oh, speak of that. That do I long to hear. She tells me, my dear Gertrude, she hath found the head and source of all your son's distemper.
I doubt it is no other but the main. His father's death and our hasty marriage.
My liege and madam, I will be brief. Your noble son is mad. Mad, I call it. For to define true madness, what is it to be but nothing else but mad? But let that go.
More matter with less art.
Madam, I swear I use no art at all. I have a daughter, while she is mine, who in her duty and obedience, mark, hath given me this. To the celestial and my soul's idol, the most beautified Ophelia. Well, that's a vile phrase, a vile phrase. Beautified is a vile phrase, but you shall hear. Thus, in her excellent white bosom, these, etc.
Came this from Hamlet to her?
Good madam, stay a while, I will be faithful. Doubt thou that the stars are fire, doubt thou that the sun doth move, doubt that truth be a liar, but never doubt I love Hamlet. This, in obedience, hath my daughter shown me.
But how hath she received his love?
What do you think of me?
As of a woman faithful and honorable?
I would fain prove so. When I saw this hot love on the wing, I prescripts gave her that she should lock herself from his resort, and he, repelled a short tale to make, fell into a sadness, then into a fast, thence into a watch, thence into a weakness, thence into a lightness, and by this declension into a madness, wherein now he raves, and all we mourn for.
Do you think 'tis this?
It may be, very likely.
Take this from this, if it be otherwise.
How may we try it further?
You know, sometimes he walks 4 hours together here in the lobby.
So he does indeed?
At such a time, I'll loose my daughter to him. Be you and I behind an heiress there. Mark the encounter.
Oh, but look where sadly the poor wretch comes reading.
I'll board him presently. Give me leave. does my good Lord Hamlet?
Well, God of mercy.
Do you know me, my lord?
Excellent. Well, you, are a fishmonger.
Oh, not I, my lord.
Then I would you were so honest a woman.
Honest, my lord.
Have you a daughter?
I have, my lord.
Let her not walk in the sun. Conception is a blessing, but not as your daughter may conceive. Friend, look to it.
How say you by that? Still harping on my daughter. Yet he knew me not at first. He said I was a fishmonger. He is far gone, far gone. And truly, in my youth, I suffered much extremity for love, very near to this. I'll speak to him again. Oh, what do you read, my lord?
Words. Words. Words.
What is the matter, my lord?
Between who?
I mean, the matter that you read, my lord.
Oh, slanders, madam, for the satirical rogue says here that old women have gray beards, that their faces are wrinkled, and that they have a plentiful lack of wit, together with most weak hams. Hams?
Though this be madness, yet there is method in it. Will you walk out of the air, my lord?
Ah, into my grave.
Indeed, that's out of the air. How pregnant sometimes his replies are. My lord, I will most humbly take my leave of you.
Oh, you cannot, madam, take from me anything that I will more willingly part with all, except my life.
Fare you well, my lord.
Ah! Oh, these tedious old fools.
My most dear Lord.
Hey, my excellent good friends, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. No, Guildenstern and Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Yes.
Guildenstern. Yes, Lord.
Oh, but what make you at Elsinore?
Oh, to visit you, my lord. No other occasion.
Beggar that I am even poor in thanks. Yet I thank you. Were you not sent for? Is it a free visitation? Come. Deal justly with me. Come.
What should we say, my lord?
Why, anything but to the purpose. There's a kind of confession in your looks. I know the good king and queen hath sent for you.
To what end, my lord?
That you must teach me. If you love me, hold not off.
My lord, we were sent for.
Ah, I will tell you why. I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth. And indeed, it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory, no other thing to me than a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors. What a piece of work is a man! How noble in reason, how infinite in faculty, in apprehension, how like a god, and yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me, nor woman neither. Though by your smiling, you seem to say so.
No, my lord, there was no such stuff in my thoughts.
Why did you laugh then when I said, man delights not me?
To think, my lord, if you delight not in man, what Lenten entertainment the players shall receive from you.
He that plays the king shall be welcome, but my uncle father and my aunt mother are deceived.
In what, my lord?
No, I am but mad north, northwest, when the wind is all southerly. I know a hawk from a handsaw.
My lord, I have news to tell you.
Oh, my lord, I have news to tell you.
The actors are come hither.
You are welcome, masters. Welcome, welcome, welcome all.
Yes,
Oh.
yes.
I am glad to see thee. Well, I like the hat. Oh, yes.
Thank you,
we'll
my
have
lord.
a speech straight. Come. Give us a taste of your quality. Come. A passionate speech.
What speech, my lord?
Oh, I heard thee speak me a speech once. For the play, I remember, Please Not the Million, but one speech in it I chiefly loved. 'Twas Aeneas's tale to Dido, if it live in your memory. Begin at this line. Let me see. Anon. He finds him striking too short at
Greeks.
Oh, Greeks. Yes, so proceed you.
Well, good accent, good discussion.
Anon. Blikast. Rapokashika Lupalaki, his antique sword, rebellious to his arms, lies where it falls, repugnant to command, unequal, unmatched. Bresek, Lukopalakashol, Rapa, Tatotora, Solikara, Yutasa, Toso, Rapa, would have made the burning eyes of heaven and passion to Greeks.
This is too long.
Oh no, prithee, say on. She's for a jig or a tale of bawdry, or she sleeps.
Blickings. Luce rapa, cosil tibercita pale, co rapa, chestale, supplique, so calad, c'est tout laissé par c'est le pas, ce qu'elle est, c'est king, bah.
Look where he has not turned his color, and has tears in his eyes. Prithee, no more.
'Tis well. I'll have thee speak out the rest soon. I'll leave you till night. You are welcome to Elsinore.
My lord.
Oh. Now I am alone. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I. Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit that from her working all his visage wanned, tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice, and his whole function suiting with forms to his conceit? And all for nothing? For Hecuba. What's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba? What would he do? Had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have, he would drown the stage with tears and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty and appall the free, confound the ignorant and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddy metal rascal, peak like John dreams, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing. No, not for a king, upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain? Who does me this? I should take it, for it cannot be but I am pigeon-livered and lacked gall to make oppression bitter. Or ere this, I should have fatted all the region kites with this slave's awful, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, callous villain! Why, what an ass am I. This is most brave. That I, the son of a dear father, murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must, like a whore, unpack my heart with words and fall a-cursing like a very drab, a scullion. Fie upon it, foe! About my brains! What's this? Peer Gynt. Ibsen. Huh. Peer Gynt. Ibsen's last play in verse. The lovable yet irresponsible Peer Gynt is based on a semi-legendary character of the mountains and Norwegian folklore, with its malevolent and ugly trolls. I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have by the very cunning of the scene been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. For murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I'll observe his looks. I'll tempt him to the quick, if he but blench. I know my course. The spirit that I have seen may be the devil, and the devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape. Yea, and perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy, as he is very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
And can you not get from him why he puts on this confusion?
He does confess. He feels himself distracted, but from what cause he will by no means speak.
With a crafty madness, he keeps aloof, and when we would bring him onto some confession of his true state.
Did he receive you well?
Oh, most like a gentleman.
Yeah. Like a gentleman.
Yeah.
Did you assay him?
Oh, madam, it so fell out. Yeah, certain players were on the way, and of these we told him, and there did seem in him a kind of joy to hear of it. They are about the court, and as I think they have already ordered that this night to play before him.
'Tis most true, and he beseeched me to entreat your majesties to hear and see the matter.
A play? Good gentlemen, give him a further edge and drive his purpose on to these delights.
We shall, my lord.
Sweet Gertrude, leave us too.
I shall obey you.
For we have closely sent for Hamlet hither, that he, as 'twere by accident, may here affront Ophelia. Her mother and myself will so bestow ourselves, that unseen we may of their encounter frankly judge.
Ophelia, walk you here. Gracious, so please you, we'll bestow ourselves. Read on this book, that show of such an exercise may color your loneliness. I hear him coming.
Soft you now, the fair Ophelia. Nymph, in thy orisons be all my sins remembered.
Good, my lord. How does your honor for this many a day?
I humbly thank you. Well.
My lord, I have remembrances of yours that I have longed to redeliver. I pray you now, receive them.
No. Not I. I never gave you aught.
My honored lord, you know right well you did. There, my lord.
I did love you once.
Indeed, my lord. You made me believe so.
You should not have believed me. I loved you not.
I was the more deceived.
Get thee to a nunnery. Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? We are errant knaves all, believe none of us. Go thy ways to a nunnery. Where is your mother?
At home, my lord.
Let the doors be shut upon her, that she may play the fool nowhere but in her own house. Farewell.
Oh, help him, you sweet heavens.
Get thee to a nunnery. Go. Farewell. Or if thou wilt needs marry, marry a fool, for wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them. To a nunnery go, and quickly too. Farewell.
Oh, heavenly powers, restore him.
God has given you one face, and you make yourselves another. You jig, you amble, you lisp, you nickname God's creatures, and you make your wantonness your ignorance. Go to! I'll no more on it. It hath made me mad. I say, we shall have no more marriages. Those that are married already, all but one, shall live. The rest shall keep as they are. To a nunnery. Go.
Oh, what a noble mind is here o'erthrown! The courtiers, soldiers, scholars, eye, tongue, sword, the expectancy and the rose of the fair state, the glass of fashion and the mold of form, the observed of all observers, quite down. Now see that noble and most sovereign reason, that unmatched form and feature of blown youth, blasted with ecstasy. Woe is me to have seen what I have seen. See what I see.
Love, his affections do not that way tend, nor what he spake, though it lacked form a little, was not like madness. There is something in his soul o'er which his melancholy sits on brood.
How now, Ophelia? You need not tell us what Lord Hamlet said. We heard it all. My lord, do as you please, but if you hold it fit after the play, let his queen mother all alone entreat with him to show his griefs. Let her be round with him, and I'll be placed, so please you, in the ear of all their conference. If she find him not, confine him where your wisdom best shall think.
It shall be so. Madness in great ones must not unwatched go.
Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you. How now, my lady? Will the king hear this piece of work?
And the queen too, and that presently.
Excellent. Okay, check. One, check two, check. Okay. Here we go. I got a story that I'm dying to tell. It's boring, about a Caesar who fell. This is I, Hamlet the Dane. I'm gonna lay down the beat. Y'all do the same. This is Samuel. He's gonna clap to the beat. Y'all make some noise with your hands and your feet. Here we go. As you watch us with no pants, eating popcorn without a glance, I'm gonna hand the mic to my friend. Get a little closer, listen in. I got my Bed-Stuy friend in the house of Brooklyn. He's an OG MC, they call him MD. Playing the player king. He's gonna lay down some Al Green. Hit it.
I'm so in love with you. Yeah, whatever you want to do. Yeah, it's all right with me.
Oh yeah. Now sleep. Sleep, my king. Sleep. Keep my sleep. Sleep, my king. Lay down your head and sleep. Lay down your head to rest. be best?
The king sleeps.
The queen slips away from her bed, ignoring vows she took when she wed. She's the queen. What's the danger? Sneaking out of the royal chamber. A boom boom. A chicka chicka. A chicka boom boom. Oh yeah. A chicka boom boom. Chicka chicka. A chicka boom boom. Oh yeah. A chicka boom boom. A chicka chicka. A da da boom boom. Here we go. And
Lucianus serenades his lover, the queen. I'm so in love with you.
oh, baby.
I'll do what you want me to do.
Oh, yeah, baby.
I'll kill the king.
I knew a girl named Nikki, I guess you could say she was a sex fiend. I met her in a hotel lobby, masturbating with a magazine.
Freestyle.
Love making.
Oh my. Swinging from the chandeliers.
Bacchanalian. They're not faking.
Is that legal? Ophelia, cover your ears.
In their post-coital rapture, Lucianus presents the poison.
Huh.
The queen feigns sleep, turns a blind eye, gives a wink to her side guy.
As he leaves on a mission to elevate his position.
Hamlet, what means this?
The players cannot keep counsel. They tell all.
Faith, I must leave, beloved, and that shall live in this fair one behind. And now, beloved, and one of the kind for a husband.
Oh, confound the rest! Such love must needs be treason in my breast. In second, husband, let me be accursed. None wed the second, but who killed the first? That's Wormwood. Second time I kill my husband dead when second husband kisses me in bed.
Sweet, leave here a while. Leave me here for a while.
Rock thy brain, sleep. Rock thy brain, sleep. Rock thy brain, sleep. Madam, how like you this piece of work?
The lady doth protest too much, methinks.
Oh, but she'll keep her word.
Have you not heard the argument? Is there no offense in it?
They do but jest. Poison in jest. No offense in the world.
What do you call the play?
The Mousetrap. This is one Lucianus, nephew to the king. Boom, ba-ding, dum, ba-da-bum, boom, boom, ba-rim, bum, ba-dum, boom. He poisons him in the garden for his estate. You shall see anon how the murderer gets the love, how the murderer gets the love of Gonzago's wife.
Enough!
Oh, the play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
I've had enough of this.
I'll be right with you, Your Majesty.
Oh, for a muse of fire that would ascend the brightest heaven of invention, a kingdom for a stage, princes to act, and monarchs to behold the swelling scene. All the world's a stage, mother... Horatio. Horatio, Horatio! I'll take the ghost word for £1,000. Didst perceive?
Very well, my lord, very well.
Upon the talk of the poisoning.
Oh, I did very well note him.
Oh, Rosencrantz, get us come on, music, give me some music, come on, the recorders, come.
Good, my lord. Vouchsafe me a word with you.
Sir?
The queen, your mother, hath sent me to you.
You are welcome.
If it shall please you to make me a wholesome answer, I will do your mother's commandment. If not, your pardon and my return shall be the end of my business.
Sir, I cannot.
What, my lord?
Make you a wholesome answer. But, sir, such answer as I can make, you shall command, or rather, as you say, my mother.
She desires to speak with you in her closet ere you go to bed.
We shall obey. Were she 10 times our mother. Have you any further trade with us?
My lord, you once did love me.
So I do still.
Good, my lord, then what is the cause of your distemper? You do surely bar the door upon your own liberty if you deny your griefs to your friend.
Will you play upon this pipe?
My lord, I cannot.
I pray you.
Believe me, my lord, I cannot.
I do beseech you.
I know no touch of it, my lord.
'Tis as easy as lying. Govern these vestiges with your fingers and thumb. Give it breath with your mouth, and it will discourse. Most eloquent music. Look you, here are the stops.
I have not the skill.
Why, look you now, how unworthy a thing you make of me. You would play upon me. You would seem to know my stops. You would pluck out the heart of my mystery. You would sound me from my lowest note to the top of my compass. And there is much music, excellent voice in this little organ, yet cannot you make it speak? Splod, do you think I am easier to be played on than a pipe? Call me what instrument you will, though you can fret me, you cannot play upon me.
My lord, the queen would speak with you, and presently.
Then I will come to my mother by and by. I will come by and by.
I will say so.
Well, by and by is easily said. Leave me, friends. 'Tis now the very witching time of night, when churchyards yawn and hell itself breathes out contagion to this world. Now could I drink hot blood and do such bitter business that the day would quake to look on. Soft. Now to my mother. Oh, heart, lose not thy nature. Let me be cruel, not unnatural. I will speak daggers to her, but use none. Mother!
Oh, my offense is rank. It smells to heaven. It hath the primal eldest curse upon it, a brother's murder. Pray, can I not, though inclination be as sharp as will, my stronger guilt defeats my strong intent, and like a man doing double business bound, I stand in pause where I shall first begin and both neglect. What if this cursed hand were thicker than itself with brother's blood? Is there not rain enough in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? Whereto serves mercy but to confront the visage of offense? And what's in a prayer but this twofold force, to be forestalled ere we come to fall, or pardoned being down? Then I'll look up. My fault is past. But, oh, what form of prayer can serve my turn? Forgive me my foul murder? That cannot be, since I am still possessed of those effects for which I did the murder, my crown, mine own ambition, and my queen. May one be pardoned and retain the offense? In the corrupted currents of this world, offence's gilded hand may shove by justice, and oft 'tis seen the wicked prize itself buys out the law. But 'tis not so above. There is no shuffling. There the action lies in his true nature, and we ourselves, compelled even to the teeth and forehead of our faults, to give in evidence. What then? What rests? Try what repentance can, what can it not? Yet what can it when one cannot repent? Bow, stubborn knees, and heart with strings of steel be as soft as sinews of the newborn babe. All may be well.
Now might I do it. Pat, now he is praying. And now I'll do it. And so he goes to heaven. And so I am revenged. That would be scanned. A villain kills my father, and for that, I, his whole son, do this same villain send to heaven. Oh, this is hire and salary, not revenge. He took my father grossly, full of bread, with all his crimes broad blown, as flush as May, and now his audit stands. Who knows, save heaven? But in our circumstance and course of thought, 'tis heavy with him. And I am then revenged to take him in the purging of his soul when he is fit and seasoned for his passage? No. Up, sword, and know thou a more horrid hint, when he is drunk asleep, or in his rage, or in the incestuous pleasure of his bed, at gaming, swearing, or about some act that has no relish of salvation in it, then trip him, that his heels may kick at heaven, and that his soul may be as damned and black as hell, whereto it goes. My mother stays. This physic but prolongs thy sickly days.
My words fly up. My thoughts remain below. Words without thoughts ne'er to heaven go.
A will comes straight. Look you, lay home to him. Tell him that his pranks have been too broad to bear with, and that your grace hath screened and stood between much heat and he. I'll silence me even here. Pray you, be round with him.
Mother! Mother! Mother.
Polonia hides.
Now, Mother, what's the matter?
Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended.
Mother, you have my father much offended.
Oh, come, you answer with an idle tongue.
Go, you question with a wicked tongue.
Have you forgot me?
No. You are the queen, your husband's brother's wife, and would it were not so, you are my mother.
Nay, then I'll set those to you that can speak.
Nay, come, and sit you down, you shall not budge. You go not till I set you up a glass wherein you may see the inmost part of you.
What wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me? Help! Help! Ho!
What ho? Help! Help! Help!
Oh no, a rat! Dead for a ducat, dead. Is it the king?
Oh me, what hast thou done? What a rash and bloody deed is this?
A bloody deed. Almost as bloody, good mother, as kill a king and marry with his brother.
As kill a king?
Aye, lady. 'Twas my word. Oh, thou wretched, rash, intruding fool! Farewell, I took thee for thy better. No, leave wringing of your hands. Peace. Sit you down, and let me wring your heart, for so I shall, if it be made of penetrable stuff.
What have I done that thou darest wag thy tongue in noise so rude against me?
Such an act that blurs the grace and blush of modesty, that makes marriage vows false as dicers' oaths.
Me, what act that roars so loud and thunders in the index?
Look! Here, upon this picture, and on this, the counterfeit presentment of two brothers. See what a grace is seated on his brow, a combination and a form indeed, where every god did seem to set his seal, to give the world assurance of a man. This was your husband. Look you now what follows. Here is your husband, like a mildewed ear, blasting his wholesome brother. Have you eyes? You cannot call it love. You cannot call it love.
Oh, Hamlet, speak no-
Shame, where is thy blush?
Thou turn'st mine eyes into my very soul, and there I see such black and granite spots as will not leave their tinct.
Nay, but to live in the rank sweat of an enseamed bed, stewed in corruption, honeying and making love.
These words like daggers enter mine ears.
A murderer and a villain, a slave that is not 20th part the tithe of thy precedent, Lord, a vice of kings, a king of shreds and patches.
Alas, he's mad.
Do you not come your tardy son to chide?
Do not forget this visitation is but to whet thy almost blunted purpose. But look, amazement on thy mother sits. Oh, step between her and her fighting soul. Speak to her, Hamlet.
How is it with you, my lady?
Alas, how is't with you? That you do bend your eye on vacancy, whereon do you look?
On him. On him.
To whom do you speak this?
No, do you see nothing there?
Nothing at all, yet all that is I see.
Do you nothing hear?
No, nothing.
What? Look, you! There! Look! Oh, how it steals away! My father, in his habit as he lived.
This is the very coinage of your brain.
No, My pulse, as yours, doth temperately keep time. Mother, for love of grace, confess yourself. Repent what's past, avoid what is to come, and do not spread the compost on the weeds to make them ranker.
Oh, Hamlet, thou hast cleft my heart in twain.
Oh, throw away the worser part of it and live the purer with the other half. Oh. Good night. But go not to mine uncle's bed. Assume a virtue if you have it not. And when you are desirous to be blessed, I'll blessing beg of you. For this same lady, I do repent, but heaven hath pleased it so. So again, good night. I must be cruel only to be kind. One word more, gentle lady.
What shall I do?
Do not let the bloat king tempt you again to bed. Pinch wanton on your cheek, call you his mouse, and let him for a pair of reechy kisses make you to ravel all this matter out, that I essentially am not in madness, but mad in craft.
Be thou assured, if words be made of breath and breath of life, I have no life to breathe what thou hast said to me.
I must to England.
Alack! Oh, I had forgot 'tis concluded on.
And my two schoolfellows, whom I will trust as I will adders fanged, they bear the mandate. They must sweep my way and marshal me to knavery. Let it work. I'll lug the guts into the neighbor room. Mother, good night. Mother.
Hamlet? Horatio, have you seen Hamlet?
Your Majesty, I have seen Hamlet.
And?
Your Majesty, something assails him.
Yes, I know.
Some sort of invisible visage.
Where is Hamlet?
I know not, my lord.
You said you saw him. Wait. Leave me, Horatio. Leave
my
me.
My lord, are you sure?
Horatio.
Yes, my lord. Yes,
Hamlet! Hamlet? Now, Where's Polonia?
At supper.
At supper. Where?
Not where she eats, but where she is eaten.
Where is Polonia?
In heaven. Send thither to see. If your messenger find her not there, seek her in the other place yourself. She will stay till ye come.
Hamlet, for this deed, for thine especial safety, must send thee hence to England.
For England!
Aye, Hamlet.
Good.
So it is. If thou knewest our purposes.
Come. For England. Farewell, dear mother.
Thy loving father, Hamlet.
My mother. Father and mother is man and wife. Man and wife is one flesh. And so, my mother. To be or not to be? That is the question. To be or not to be, that is. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them. To die, to sleep, no more. And by asleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to, 'tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, to sleep. Perchance to dream, aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come, when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin? Who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. Thus conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pitch and moment with this regard their current turns awry and lose the name of action.
Will't please you go, my lord?
Come. Come. For England. From this time forth, my thoughts be bloody, or be nothing worth.
O thou vile king, give me my mother. Where is my mother?
Dead, but not by me.
How came she dead? Come, I'll not be juggled with. I dare damnation. Let come what comes. Only I'll be revenged most thoroughly from my mother.
Who shall stay you?
None but her enemies.
Why, now you speak like a good child and a true gentleman, and am almost sensible in grief for it. It shall, as level to your judgment peer, as day does to your eye, that I am guiltless of your mother's death, and am most sensible in grief for it.
And will she not come again?
Ophelia, kind sister.
And will she not come again? I cannot choose but weep. To think they should lay her in the cold ground. My brother shall know of it. They bore her barefaced on the bier. Hey, naughty, naughty, ho, naughty, naughty, and in her grave rained many a tear. Fare you well, my dove. Fare you well. There's rosemary. That's for remembrance. Pray, love, remember. And here's pansies. That's for thought. And there's fennel for you. And columbines. Oh, there's rue for you. And here's some for me. You must wear your rue with a difference. There's a daisy. I would give you some violets, but they wither. All when my mother died. They say that she made a good end. And will she not come again? No, she is dead. Go to thy deathbed. She will never come again. Her beard was white as the snow. Hey, naughty, naughty, hey, naughty, naughty. And he is gone, she is gone, and we cast away moan. God have mercy on her soul. And of all Christian souls, I pray God. God by you. God by you. God by you.
Is it possible? A young maid's wits should be as mortal as an old woman's life? Adieu, my lord. I have a speech of fire that fain would blaze, but that this folly doubts it.
My lord, letters from Hamlet.
From Hamlet? Who brought them?
Sailors, my lord.
Leave me. High and mighty, you shall know I am set naked on your kingdom Tomorrow shall I beg to see your kingly eyes, when I shall, first on asking your pardon thereunto, recount the sudden occasion of my sudden and most strange return, naked. And in a postscript here he says, alone. Gertrude.
One woe doth tread upon another's heels, so fast they follow. Your sisters drowned, Laertes.
Drowned? Where?
There is a willow, grows ascant the brook. There with fantastic garlands did she make of crowflowers, nettles, daisies, and long purples. There, on the pendant boughs, her cronet weeds clamoring to hang, an envious sliver broke, when down her weedy trophies and herself fell into the weeping brook. Her clothes spread wide, and mermaid-like a while they bore her up, which time she chanted snatches of old tunes, as one incapable of her own distress, till that her garments, heavy with their drink, pulled the poor wretch from her melodious lay to muddy death.
Alas, then, she is drowned.
Drowned. Drowned.
Tell mama when I go home, boys won't leave the girls alone. Oh, hello, Zoom audience. How are we doing? 25th at 8:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Ow!
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 All right, Zoom audience. I got one for you. So Shakespeare once... Oh, excuse me. Sorry, let me take it back. Shakespeare walks into a bar, and the landlord says, I'm not serving you. And Shakespeare says, oh, wherefore, prithee? And the landlord says, you're barred. So, Horatio... Oh, thank you. Keep coming. I'm gonna pass my hat out around at the end of the set. Horatio, Benvolio, Cassio, and Edgar walk into a bar, and everyone within a 30-mile radius drops dead.
Oh!
It is a Shakespeare joke. She is handsome, she is pretty, she is the belle of Belfast City. Okay, so stage manager walks into a bar, and then she says, could somebody put some glow tape on that?
Ba-dum-bum.
Ba-dum-bum! 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 Okay. and here, for all of you feisty cats and kittens, we got a little riddle. So, knock, knock.
Who's there?
Woo! Who's there? The Earl of Oxford.
The Earl of Oxford who?
Exactly.
Da, 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 da.
And then there's one more. So who builds stronger than either the mason, the shipwright, or the carpenter?
The shipwright?
Oh, somebody doesn't know the answer to this riddle. Come on. Who builds stronger than either the mason, the shipwright, or the carpenter? Come on, Zoom audience. We've been in quarantine.
The carpenter.
The carpenter. Come on. You're pathetic. The answer is a grave maker. And you want to know why? Oh, why is that? Why is that? because the houses he builds will last till doomsday. Tell my mom when I get home. Pretty.
Has this fellow no feeling for his business that he sings at grave making? Sarah,
Huh?
whose grave's this?
Mine, sir.
I think it be thine, indeed, for thou liest in it.
For my part, I do not lie in it, and yet it is mine.
What man dost thou dig it for?
Oh, for no man, sir.
What woman, then?
For none, neither.
Who is to be buried in it?
One that was woman, sir, but God rest her soul, she's dead.
How absolute the knave is. How long hast thou been a grave maker?
I came to it the very day that young Hamlet was born. You know, he that is mad and sent into England. Some 30 years now.
Aye. Mary, why was he sent into England?
Why? Because he was mad. He shall recover his good fear if he do not. Woo! It's no great matter there.
Why?
'Twill not be seen in him there. There, the men are as mad as he.
How came he mad?
Very strangely, they say.
How strangely?
Faith, in with losing his wits.
Upon what ground?
Why, here in Denmark. I've been such a man and boy some 30 years.
How long will a man lie in the earth?
In faith, if he be not rotten before he die, he'll last you some 8 year or 9 year. Here is a skull now. This skull has lain in the earth some 23 years.
Well, whose was it?
A horse and mad fellows it was. Who'd you think it was?
Nay, I know not.
This same skull, sir, was Yorick's skull, the king's jester.
This?
E'en that.
Let me see. Alas. Poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. A fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. He hath borne me on his back 1,000 times. Here hung those lips that I have kissed, I know not how oft. Where be your jibes now, your gambols, your songs, your flashes of merriment?
Lay her in the earth, and from her fair and unpolluted flesh may violets.
I hoped thou shouldst have been my Hamlet's wife. I thought thy bride meant to have decked, sweet maid, and not have strewed thy grave.
Oh, treble woe! Hold off the earth a while till I have caught her once more in mine arms.
He's leapt into the grave.
Now, pile your dust upon the quick and the dead, till of this flat a mountain you have made.
What is he whose grief bears such an emphasis, whose phrase of sorrow conjures the wandering stars and makes them stand like wonder-wounded hearers? This is I, Hamlet, the Dane!
Leap not into the grave!
The devil take thy soul.
I loved Ophelia! 40,000 brothers could not, with all their quantity of love, make up my sum. What wilt thou do for her?
Put them asunder.
My lord, my lord.
Hamlet! Hamlet!
He's mad.
For love of God, forbear him!
Who'd weep? Who'd fight? Who'd fast? Who'd tear thyself? Thou rant as well as thou. I loved Ophelia.
My lord.
This is mere madness, and thus a while the fit will work on him.
Pray you, good Horatio, wait upon him. Hamlet comes back. What would you undertake to show yourself your father, your mother's son, indeed, more than words?
To cut his throat in the church.
Good, Laertes. Will you do this? Keep close within your chamber. We'll put on those that shall praise your excellence, bring you in fine together, and wager o'er your heads. He, being remiss, will not peruse the foils, so that with ease you may choose a sword unbaited, and in a pass of practice requite him for your mother.
I will do it, and for that purpose I'll anoint my sword. I bought an unction of mountebank so mortal that if I but gall him slightly, it may be death.
If this should fail, when in your motion you are hot and dry and that he calls for drink, I'll have prepared him a chalice for the nonce, whereupon, but sipping, if by chance escape your venom suck, our purpose may hold there.
My lord, you will lose this wager.
There is a special providence in the fall of a sparrow. If it be now, 'tis not to come. If it be not to come, it will be now. If it be not now, yet it will come. The readiness is all. Since no man has aught of what he leaves, what is it to leave betimes? Let be.
Come, Hamlet. Come, Laertes. Take each hand from me.
Give me your pardon, sir. I've done you wrong. Let my disclaiming from a purposed evil free me so far in your most generous thoughts that I have shot mine arrow o'er the house and hurt my brother.
I am satisfied in nature, but in my terms of honor, I stand aloof and will know reconcilement.
Give us the foils. Come on.
You know the wager?
Your Grace hath laid the odds on the weaker side.
I do not fear it. I have seen you both. If Hamlet give the first or second hit, the king shall drink to Hamlet's better breath, and in the cup an union shall he throw, richer than that which 4 successive kings of Denmark's crown have worn. Now the king dunks to Hamlet. Come, begin.
Hup!
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah! One!
No.
Judgment?
A hit, a very palpable hit.
Well, again.
Give Hamlet. Claudius places the pearl in the cup. Here's to thy health. Give him the cup.
Hamlet pushes the bloke king away. I'll play this bout first. Set it by a while. Come.
Hup!
Oh!
A touch. A touch that you confess.
The queen carouses to thy fortune, Hamlet.
Good, madam. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Oh.
Do not drink.
I will, my lord. I pray you pardon me.
Come on. Come on.
Hup!
Yeah.
Whoa!
Oh!
We can
Oh.
Look, the queen there.
Have at you now. Laertes wounds Hamlet.
Then,
My lord.
in the scuffling, they change rapiers. Hup! They fight.
Hamlet wounds Laertes.
Ah!
They bleed on both sides. How is it, my lord?
How is Laertes?
I'm justly killed with mine own treachery.
My dear Hamlet, the drink. The drink. I am poisoned.
Oh, villainy, Queen Mother! Oh! Let the doors be shut! Treachery. Seek it out.
It is here, Hamlet. Thou art slain. No medicine in the world can do thee good. In thee there is not half an hour of life. The treacherous instrument is in thy hand, unbaited and envenomed. Oh, the foul practice hath turned itself on me. Thy mother is poisoned. Oh, I can no more. The king's to blame.
Yet defend me, friends. I am but hurt.
Here, thou incestuous, murderous, damned Dane. Follow my mother. Hamlet takes the blade and...
Claudius dies.
I follow thee. I am dead, Horatio. Wretched queen. And you. You that look pale and tremble at this chance, that are but mutes or audience to this act, had I but time. Oh, I could tell you, but let it be. Horatio, I am dead. Thou livest. Report me and my cause aright to the unsatisfied.
Never believe it. I am more antique Roman than Dane. Huh. Here's yet some liquor left.
Give me the cup.
Oh,
No!
no,
Let go. Have it. No! I'll have it. Good Horatio. What a wounded name. Things standing thus unknown shall live behind me. If ever thou didst hold me in thy heart, absent thee from felicity a while, and in this harsh world, draw thy breath in pain to tell my story. Let go. The rest is silence. Thank you all for coming. Thank you very much. I am Joey Collins.
I'm Katie Wieland.
I'm Terry Greiss.
I'm Michael David Gordon.
I'm Alex Spieth.
I'm Sam Metzger.
You're muted, Sam.
And the other Sam is there somewhere.
I'm Sam Day Harmon. Hey.
There you go.
And let us reintroduce Jim. Jim, are you there? Let me see.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm right here.
Whoa, Jim.
Can you
Whoa,
hear me?
Jim.
Hey, nice job, everybody, and all you people. I like all you people out there in television land. I've never said that in my life. Thanks so much for being here. We're gonna keep right on going here for a few minutes. If anybody has anything you'd like to chime in with, and I know you're on YouTube, so just put something on here, and we will try to answer your questions.
Chat in the chat box. I think Max has put them in on the chat box for us.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. So just to get us started, same question I asked to Joey at the very beginning. What was it like coming back to this, and what was the play about tonight, as opposed to what was it about 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
Wow. You asked a question at the very top, which was kind of, I guess, something you said that occurred to you 10 seconds before you asked it. If you could pluck a line out of this play, and for me, I mean, I have to go with the sort of the cliche answer, but I think for me, it's the answer tonight, as the numbers are going up all over the country, except for places like here, strangely enough. To be or not to be, are we going to survive this? And there are some days when I really do wonder. I really do. I see there's a bar in the corner of my house, a really nice, kind of classic neighborhood bar. And there's a little courtyard in front, and there are all these people packed into this courtyard. And maybe there's one mask or two masks, and they're all really close together. And that thought does come to my mind. Are we going to survive this? I'm like, what the hell are they doing? So yeah, this play resonates for me in a whole different way tonight and this week than it did, a month ago.
Yeah, there's something about the descent into chaos that I think I hear particularly strongly now, And is it up to a Horatio to prevent that descent into chaos by remembering the danger of all of this? And who's the Horatio? Who can
Where did you hear Joe Biden's speech today?
I did, and that's what I was
That was a
thinking.
real Horatio speech, I thought.
It was quite a wonderful speech, and you're right. It was a Horatio speech.
Yeah.
But that's what I thought of tonight.
One of the things that we were talking about a couple of days ago, and I'd given Michael David a note, and I said, when you think about the Hamlet Horatio relationship, it's a bit like Mr. Spock and Captain Kirk. That Spock's reason doesn't exactly conflict with the captain of the Enterprise, but it certainly attempts to bring him back to the different world. Yeah.
So somebody says, I had a question of Joey, which had to do with his choice of props, thermos and a rope or string. Was just impressed with how it almost appeared like an urn of ashes.
Ooh.
From Rachel Petit.
And
oh yeah.
And somebody gave a thumbs up to the freestyle rap.
Oh, well, that's good, because some of it was new, and we rehearsed it about 15 minutes. Well, that actually sprung forth from the original production when we had this sort of I don't know, just sort of I don't remember how it happened, but we had this not urn, but canister of water, like a water jug or whatever, that sort of thread its way through the play. And at the very end of the play, I poured the water on my head. And when I had to say those lines, look, you here on this, talking about my father, and one would think that normally you would have a photograph or a painting of some sort. When you look at pictures of Elsinore, there are these tapestries of all the kings and queens, so it would probably be like a tapestry. Well, we didn't have that in our production. We didn't have any of that. We used a very minimal idea. Jim really wanted as few things as possible, so we were sort of recycling and repurposing props, and that's really where it came from. And I just loved how it was, you can make anything in theater, as long as you sort
I
of buy
remember,
into
Joey,
it.
you
And
found
so,
that right off stage in the rehearsal room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
literally, it was
true.
laying
That's
around.
like planned or anything. It just was like, I need something. Let me grab this, and then there was like this errant string that had fallen off someone's clothing or thing, and so that
Yeah, it was
the other
filthy. It's like a
thing.
filthy string.
It was completely filthy. You're
Disgusting.
right. I remember it had like dust balls on it or whatever. But anyway, so that's the long form answer to that question. So, but cool that they thought it was an urn. I had never thought that, so I love that.
We have
this is an interesting question from Kai. How do you keep connected to each other when you're separated and far away?
That's a great question.
Anybody want to take that particularly? Or
Should we let the secret out, Michael David?
Yes.
And I could reach out right now and grab Michael David if I needed to. And
yes.
It's all an illusion.
Yes, we're all in Pittsburgh.
Yes, we're all in Pittsburgh, and we're all breaking protocol. No, one of the cornerstones of working at Irondale is muscular listening, is what I like to call it. We think of listening as like a radio, where if you press the button, the volume goes up, or you can press the button and the volume goes down. And for us, it is the listening specifically, moment to moment, and being alive and present. If you're present with your partner, then that will carry the day. What I'm finding out, even on Zoom, because again, the basics are still the same. You must be present. and you must be there moment to moment. And I think it's certainly harder, but it's still there. The process is still the same.
I get a lot of clues and cues from really sort of looking at people's eyes on Zoom, because that to me seems to stand out very strongly. And watching other people think the thoughts helps me navigate where I'm going next. And I think that's a slight difference.
I think it's a bit of an advantage too because we're seeing so much in close up that we actually can see those
Right.
thoughts more easily, and it's
That's right.
not exactly like a movie screen where your head's 30 feet high, but you're certainly a lot closer than you typically are on stage.
Rachel has a question, how we all felt individually doing this via live Zoom versus a live audience.
Alex, you take that with the Gravedigger.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, honestly, I I definitely think it is different, obviously, doing a play over Zoom. But I have to say, what I've been struck by is like how similarly I felt, particularly in the track of the plays. I guess, like, because I remember I had a sense that on the first night when we did Henry, there was a little bit of nerve sort of like all around the room a little bit. I mean, I know I felt it, but I think, it
Totally.
still had this sense of like, oh, this is our first time. We're a little maybe I'm speaking out of turn for my other members of the cast, but I definitely felt that there was a little more that this is a new thing. And then by tonight, I don't know, I feel like everybody sort of understands the medium and different things. The thing is, different things are interests. Different things are interesting, and I think that there is something in terms of the Gravedigger specifically, where it's sort of the nicest part, improvisation, where you can imagine other people's response rather than being like, oh, it's actually a stony faced crowd and people don't find this funny. I guess like in this version, everybody loves the jokes and it's going really well. So I think that's an advantage of Zoom for me, but I'll hand it over to someone else.
I think it depends, at least for me, it's scene to scene and character to character. Like I remember doing it, in the way we staged it, the audience was very close.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I remember hating that as Ophelia, because Ophelia gets no privacy throughout her whole life. And I just wanted to like be alone. And then tonight, I really felt like Gertrude needed a little bit of a watching. And so that was a
Mm.
little bit of an adjustment to, she's kind of like always in the public's eye. And that was very helpful with an audience. So I think it kind of just depends.
Um,
And musically,
sorry.
I was just gonna say, musically, the big distinction is it feels a little bit more like scoring film or video. You're really kind of responding to something that's a little bit more fixed, and it doesn't quite have the reactivity that you can have in live theater. Which I think it's still really nice to be able to create some sort of filmic atmosphere with the music, but there can't be quite as much give and take in real time with the actors.
Uh, David, I'm
Is
sorry.
about the decision to change Polonius to
Yes.
Polonius.
Um, okay, I've always felt that that Irondale is a play where we cast the roles not by the physical bodies that each of the actors wear, but by their spirit. So it's like, which is, we had Alex a couple weeks ago playing Henry V, and we had Katie as Julius Caesar, and Terry as the nurse in Henry V. And even like somebody said to me after Julius Caesar, "Wow, what a great idea to have a black actor play Brutus." I thought, wow, I never thought about that. That's not why I wanted Michael David to play the part. It was that totally different. But going back to where I got lost in there somewhere.
Polonia.
Oh, Polonia, yeah,
Polonia,
yeah.
yeah.
Is that it's just because I thought Alex had the right chemistry, the right feel to play that part, and Polonius is a politician, and I think just bringing herself to that, and you can see whether this looking around the world right now and who are the really statesman like people doing Merkel, for instance, and then who are the people who are doing it another way. And the one thing that we talked about was that uh, Polonia is not a fool. Polonia is a very astute and level jumping, power grabbing politician who has covered things very well. And the other was just left over from high school level. So we use a feminine ending instead of a masculine ending.
Jim, I want to put in something here as well, because I think it's important. And this is an Irondale thing as well. And this speaks to the time that we're in right now. There was a big debate in the company about going on with these plays in this moment, and was that the appropriate thing to do in response to Black men being killed in the street and Black Lives Matter and police brutality, et cetera, et cetera. And I've got a couple of colleagues that I really respect, and we've been going back and forth about that very question. And Julius Caesar kind of turned one of them around at least and said, seeing a Black actor playing Brutus just kind of messed me up in terms of, things weren't quite so ordered in terms of what I thought, which I think is, and I say this, I guess, yeah, to fly the flag of Irondale. I will admit that it's one of the things why I love this company, is because we go there and we let the work lead and speak for us and present these questions to these audiences.
That one of the things I think defines a piece of art is the people making it or the artist making it may say, well, this is my idea of what this sculpture or this play is about. And when you get 5 different responses from people in an audience or viewers, that's really exciting.
Yeah, it's really cool.
In so many different ways. And so I never thought that was there, but well, I'm glad you saw it. I'm glad it did that for you. That's something you brought in that gave you a window of looking at it differently.
Last question. Oh, this is a good question. How did you do the lighting for the ghost? Oh, very complex.
Show them, Terry. Show them. Yes.
Trick. I taped that.
Yes.
Okay, good one to go out on, right?
Thanks everybody for watching. Who knows if this thing lasts much longer? We'll do the entire canon.
We've already figured out how we can do Mother Courage totally on Zoom, or we can do it as it starts on Zoom, and we end up all being artificially in isolation at the theater.
Zoom Brecht Festival. Zoom Brecht Festival.
Zoom Brecht. Fresh, Mike. Anyway,
Great.
thank you everybody here for.
Great. I'm gonna miss you guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll see you
Thank you.